So I want to welcome you, Alejandra. Alejandra Chaparro is the founder and CEO of 17 Entertainment in New York City. So she is also an expert in communications, originally from Colombia. And she helps people to promote, do their social media, and I'm sure she can give you a better introduction of herself than I am. She's an award-winning journalist as well. She's been featured on, you had a TV show for a while on CNN Español, right?
Yes.
And she's been in Miami, New York, London, Spain as well. And so, yeah, so we have a very special person here with us today. So as she gives us information, I would love for you guys to chime in with any questions that you might have for her as she's talking. And because she's quite the lady. So, and since we're right now, there are boys in the group, but right now we're all powerful female, so
wow.
You know, we have to take advantage of that, right? So
Definitely.
So welcome, Alejandra. Why don't you do a little bit of a better introduction of yourself than I did?
Thank you so much, Christy, for this beautiful introduction and for inviting me to meet these wonderful students. I feel very proud to be with all of you here. When I was your age, I was back in Colombia. I didn't have all the resources, technology, phones, tablets, computer we have today. So the way I grew up was completely different. I grew up in a house with dogs, plants, one phone. I don't know, Christy, you remember the phone where you used to dial this way?
The rotary phone where you'd have to go, you do the number and I go, and then I go,
exactly. I am sure if one of your students, if one of you guys have that phone in front of you right now, I'm not sure you're gonna be able to use it because it's like from another world. And I remember at home, you know, nobody was allowed to talk on the phone at certain times of the day, and it was like another world. But I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited. I live in New York City about 9 years ago. Before I lived in Florida, before I lived in Bogota, before I lived in Ecuador. I remember when I was a kid, I always saw myself traveling the world and living in different places and get to know many people since I was maybe 8, 9 years old. That was my dream. So today, now, I live in New York and I realize how important is dreaming. Because when you have dreams is like what gives you, what makes you feel motivated to reach your goals and everything in life. And I finished my, excuse me, hold on one second. I finished my studies.
Is that Emerson?
It's Emerson. He's trying to reach the ball. So I finished my studies in communication in Bogota. And then I remember I went to work in Ecuador. I moved to Ecuador to work there for a year, and I had experience on TV. I produced different shows, and then I had a radio show, and I was very young. I was maybe 21 years old, and I said, maybe this is too slow for me. I need more action. I need something that fast paced. So I moved back to Bogota, where I had the opportunity to work with the New York City mayor in that time, handling all the oil communications project. Actually, this guy was, his heritage is from Lithuania. And so I learned a lot about many things working for him, for the community. And then I work at El Tiempo, which is the main newspaper in Bogota. I created a beautiful project for teenagers to teach them how to write, how to take pictures, how to design. And we created newspapers, we created projects. This was a wonderful project. So I learned how to, I love working with young people because they have the best energy, they are willing to learn. So I spent a couple of years, And then I was in Bogota and I said, that's it in life. I wanted more. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do more. So I moved to Miami with my ex-husband. So I moved there. And when I land in Miami, I don't know anyone. I don't have a job. I don't know the language. I don't know anything. So I was scared at the beginning. I remember
Wow,
it was like,
you came without knowing English yet.
so I'm gonna let you know something. I remember when I was in the university, I was studying English and I said, why do I need to learn English for? I remember saying that to myself, but life told me something different. So I live in Miami, and when I moved to Miami, I say what I'm going to do with my life, because I need to start my career. I need to knock doors. So that's what I did. I started working as a reporter for the Agence France-Presse. At the beginning, I didn't know anyone. So the guy that was my boss asked me if I was able to go to the court to cover a trial. And I had no idea about anything. I said, sure, of course, easy. So I remember going the first time to the Miami court. It's a federal court. And I made the mistake to bring a recorder. My English was very little in that time. So the security guy calls me and he's like, you little one, little Colombian, come here. I went, they took me aside and they were looking everything, my bag, I said, did I do something? I don't know. So they took my recorder and they say it's a federal crime to bring a recorder to this court. Do you read that? And I learned something.
That was the start of learning English.
Yes. And I remember I was covering a trial about a spy case. It was a very famous case in Miami. 5 guys were arrested after spying for Cuba for a long time. So I was in charge of covering the trial. So I say it's very easy because I go to the sources, to everyone, and ask questions and get the answers and write my story. And I was like, excuse me, can I talk to you for a second? Are you a member of the media? I say, yes. No, we cannot talk to you. So nobody helped me. And I remember at the end, I needed to go out and write a story that was going to be distributed for all the entire media in Latin America. I didn't understand English. I was feeling very frustrated because I told myself, why did I do this? If I don't have the abilities, the skills for covering this trial. So I learned that in that moment, it was time for me to work very hard in improving different skills, the language, and many, many things to be able to cover that trial that it lasted around a year. So I started going every day to the federal court and look at the files, investigating, reading, and at the same time, I asked to another reporter that was covering this trial before myself, and he helped me a lot. So I listened to him, so I started little by little learning. So I was able to covering this trial for a long time. And years after, a big writer from Brazil, he wrote the biography of Paulo Coelho, got in contact with me because he was looking for a journalist that was part of that trial because he wrote a book.
Wow.
So I was one of the sources because I learned through that case, I learned how to look in court for any file. So I was able to find any kind of information you want me to find. I developed that skill, how to look for information and how important and how powerful is the information you handle. So that was a big experience for me. I learned a lot. And then I worked for the Miami Herald, and it was
I'm learning a lot of new things myself here today. Okay, hold on. Let's pause at the Miami Herald. Do any of you have a question for Alejandra in what she just had mentioned? Maria?
I'm so invested in this story and I'm just so amazed. I have nothing to say. I'm just like, wow, that is just astonishing. Like, what in the world? So I have nothing
ask you right
Well,
now.
I mean, I think the real lesson here is to say, like, even if you don't think you have the skills, if you're willing to figure it out, then yeah, if there's a will, there's a way, right?
Quote to quote, nothing is impossible.
Right. Absolutely.
Nothing.
That's it right there.
And then I remember I wasn't able to speak in public in English. I was completely scared. And life took me to the point that I had to speak in public in English. So I say, what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna do, what I'm going to say. I was like very, very, very scared. But I learned that the only way to, maybe overcome your fears is by doing it.
Mhm.
And so the biggest person that has pushed me in my life, who has been? Myself. Because nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to push yourself, because you are the only one. You need to be motivated every single day in your life. You need to wake up with a dream, with a reason, with a purpose, eager to learn, eager to live, eager to do everything in your life to reach your goals and your dreams, because we have only one life we have.
When you had that court case, how long had you been in the United States when you started the court case?
8 months.
Wow. If that doesn't fast track your English, nothing will, right? Wow, that's amazing. Maria.
I would also like to say you are a very, very, very inspiring woman.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And, because I learned that in life, it's very important to learn how to inspire and motivate yourself. I learned that from my mom. My mom always told me, you can do whatever you want. You should do it. You can do it. You just need to push yourself. And I learned how to push myself. And I learned also that sometimes in life, we are educated to reach a comfort zone in our lives. So in a way that we have everything, so we don't have to be worried about nothing, because I have everything. So I can sleep late, I can watch TV, I can eat ice cream all day or pizza every night, right? But it's not about it. You have to make sacrifices to reach your goals. Let's say, for example, I love pizza, but I don't eat pizza every day, because I know it's not going to be good for me, for my health, for my weight. So things like that, I learned how to handle. And I think it's very important discipline. It's very hard to learn discipline, but when you develop like habits and discipline, you can do everything, and you can reach everything in life.
Linking to what you said about Miss Alejandra being not scared, no, scared of talking in public, that links and just brings up the subject that we were talking about yesterday. Doing things you might be scared of doing, or doing things you don't like doing to benefit yourself. And I really think that is amazing how in such a short period of time, Miss Alejandra could overcome that fear. And it's not just about overcoming the fear, it's also about the language barrier, I'd say. So that is just so amazing, and I am just as inspired right now. Wow.
Thank you.
So how was it? So the first time you had to speak in public, so let's take that. The first time you had to speak in public, how long had you been in the US then?
In English, it was in New York. It was, I would say, I launched a book, and I needed to do a speech about my book in Chicago, in an audience in front of like 300 people. And I was sweating, sweating. And I didn't know what to say. I was trying to memorize what I was going to say, but it didn't happen, because the more you memorize, the more you forget things sometimes in life. So I let myself go on a stage, and it was a great experience. I was very nervous, but since that moment, I started doing, more speaking engagements in English. I even had the opportunity to speak in Columbia University, and it's hard. It was very hard at the beginning, and it still is. It's not that when I know I have to do something in English, but I say, I have to do it. I push myself, and I do it.
Right. Yes, Nor, you have a question, honey?
Yes, well, I have two questions. So the first question, was it hard when you took the decision to move to the US, or you just took it in a snap? And then you said something about that nobody was supporting you at the moment. So how did you just keep pushing when nobody was supporting you at the moment?
Oh, when I moved to Miami, it was more a common project that I had with my ex-husband. But I was the one who pushed him to move because he didn't want me to move to America. I had a good job in that moment. The reason why we wanted to move is because in Colombia in that time, we were having very like violent situation with the guerrillas, with many violence and very bad situations that I wasn't willing to be in that environment anymore. I grew up in Colombia when Pablo Escobar was alive and all the drug cartels and the bombs, explosions. So it's how I grew up. So I say, I am done with this life. I don't need to have this environment around me. I need to try, I would like to try something better. So it's how we decided to move to America. I wasn't that sure, and it wasn't my dream. But what I knew, it was that the fact that I wasn't happy in Colombia. I turned on the TV and the news were horrible every day, like now, but back then, and very violent. So, and actually that creates an violent environment about yourself. So I say, I want to have a sense of future, because in that time in Colombia, I don't know how it's now. Hopefully things have changed. I have sense of future, and I said, I don't want to live a life like that. So let me try something different. That's why we decided to move to America.
Now, do you guys know who Pablo Escobar is? Yeah, he was a big drug lord in Colombia.
In the world.
In the world, that's true. Yes, he was from Colombia, but in the world. And so, so at that point in time in Colombia, very, very violent, like overly.
Actually, I guess Pablo Escobar himself, he was violent, but the people around him were more, because the more he got into jail, the more the people around him who used to go and get violence in the streets just to let him out of the prison.
Yes. So I guess that was like a catch-22, because he helped the people, like the poor people, and the poor people helped him because he financially helped them. However, when things didn't necessarily go his way in the higher society or in politics or whatever it might be, he killed them.
Was he a minister before? I guess. Was he a minister before also?
He was in politics.
He was a politician.
Yeah,
he was a politician. So then when he was a politician, did he did the violence, or it was after he finished power?
It was after. It was after because
he was violent to people that went against him in the drug cartel, but it wasn't acts of public violence at that point. And Alejandra can probably speak to that a little bit better than me, but I think it was the unexpected that made it so crazy, because towards the end, he was doing random acts of public violence that you didn't really know where or when it was going to happen. And there were a lot of innocent bystanders that were taken for that, or that were killed because of that. So I can't even imagine, you're walking down the street and that might, happen. So yeah. So you worked for the Miami Herald as a journalist as well. But was this in English or in Spanish?
Both. It was most in Spanish, but they used to translate the stories for the English version.
Okay.
So I used to do stories every day. I used to have assignments every day to write a story, like probably a long story. So that was a great experience. And I have another story about what happened there. So I maybe after 6 months, I was working in that newspaper. One day I go earlier than usual because I was going to travel. And suddenly the guy that used to work there come to the newsroom, let's say 10 a.m. And he's wearing like sunglasses, behaving very weird. And I said, this guy is on something, that's for sure. So the guy passed by in front of me. I say, hey, good morning. And he didn't even turn around to say hello to me. So he goes to the office of the director of the newspaper and starts throwing things away, everything. And in that moment, I remember the police came, helicopters. Well, it was like a big news that what happened in that day, because he was with a fake gun. So he was trying to say, I'm gonna kill anyone. So I went to the restroom. So I called my boss, the general editor of the newspaper, and I tell him, this is what happened. This guy is lost, out of control. He's looking for the director. He seems to be with a gun. I remember the New York Times came and interviewed me because, yes. So it's the only time I have been interviewed by the New York Times.
Wow.
For that reason, they were asking me what I saw, and because it was thousands of police officers, helicopters. It was a very crazy experience, but yes, I was safe. Nothing happened to me, but the guy was under the effect of something else. I don't know what, and he got out of control, and he created all of this mess in the newspaper. So yeah, that was my life in Miami. And then I think I'm gonna try something different. So then I started working for magazines.
For who?
Magazines.
Magazines. Okay.
So I did work for magazines, all type of magazines, lifestyle, gossip, and it was a great experience. And then years after, I think I'm done with Miami.
Yeah.
Because I say, besides the beach, which is beautiful, the sun, what else? Am I going to accomplish in Miami? And I say, I think I need bigger goals, and I have a bigger dream. So my biggest dream was moving to New York. But for you to move to New York you watch the movies, and the movies are fancy, and you see people having fun, and maybe you watch Sex and the City or movies like that are one thing, but the reality is different. So I needed to find a job for me to be able to move to New York. And I told my family I want to move to New York to start a new life. And my entire family thought I was getting crazy. They say, there's something wrong with you. You have midlife crisis. There's something you are hiding. There's something wrong about you. Why you moving to New York? It's cold. It's dirty. There's rats everywhere. You should be here in Miami next to your family. And I say, no, I'm going to move to New York. So I was looking for jobs for a long time, and nothing happened. I say, maybe my destiny is being in Miami. So I relaxed a little bit. And when I relaxed a little bit about my crazy idea of moving to New York, I got a job in Miami. So that job allowed me to move to New York a few months, like 2 months after I got that job. Because my boss was here, and he asked me, I need someone in New York. Are you willing to move to New York? And I remember running away from Miami, and I moved to New York.
Wow. Now, what was the job that you had that allowed you to go to New York?
I was editor. I was a senior editor for a website called Terra.com. So they needed someone to be in charge of all the lifestyle topics, women, pigeons, food, all of these kind of topics. So I moved to New York. At the beginning, I don't know anyone. I don't have friends. No, I had one friend here. So 4 months after I moved and I told my family, bye, I'm leaving, I lost my job.
Oh.
Yes. So
and I'm sure they were all like, I told you so. I told you so. Did you tell your family? I wouldn't have told them until I found another job.
Yes, I didn't tell anyone because my family didn't support me in my dream. So 4 months after I run away from Miami, I moved to a new city. They closed the office here. And I say, what I'm gonna be doing. So I remember having job offers from Miami to move back and start a life again there. But I say, I'm here, this is my dream. I need to make an important decision if I'm going to be here or I'm gonna go back to live the life I had that I didn't want to have anymore. So I decided to look for another job. So I found another job. And with time, I say, you know what? I think I have more skills and I think I can do more than being in a job 9 to 5. And I'm willing to learn more stuff. So I decided to open my company. So I say, I don't need to depend on anyone to make my own living. So it's how I started my own company. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have money, no nothing, just fears. I remember waking up every day, like, what I am doing here, what did I do? And you know what I did? I started running every day like crazy. And I ended up running half marathon because of it. So I did exercise a lot. So I'm gonna make a pause. So maybe if someone has a question here.
No questions, just emotions. And wow.
I have, let's see, who am I? Roa, go ahead, honey.
Well, I think like starting a company in a city like New York isn't that easy. So how did you manage to do this?
That was my question. Good question, Roa. Good question.
That's a great question. Yes, I don't know how because because to demonstrate myself and my family that I was able to do what I had in mind. I remember running every day in the middle of winter and it was like 30 degrees. And that was very good for me because I used to meditate it and organize my mind every day. And I say, how I am going to be able to do this? I had no idea. I just created the company with a name, 17 Entertainment. And little by little, I started going to networking events. That's a big deal in New York, not anymore. But in that time, the best way for you to meet people is go out and introduce yourself. Mm-hmm. So I learned how to introduce myself properly and professionally to other people. So I was going to events, I was going to networking events. So it's how I started going out, and I learned about a program called Women Entrepreneurs of New York City. So they were providing skills and programs and workshops. So I was taking all of them. So it's how I developed many skills, more skills. And then one day they offered me to be part of the mentors, part of the women that help other women. I say yes. So I have been a mentor since 5 years ago, helping other women that are at the beginning of the business or are trying to make something happen in their lives in terms of business and they don't know how to do it. And yes, so at this point, I can say that, so after I started working, I say I need to have like 3 or 4 services that my company provides that are a good fit for people in New York. So events, corporate events, public relations, social media, and marketing in general. So I decided to focus on those services and I started doing events. And little by little, my first event was, I didn't get paid because I told the lady, let me do this for you so I know I am able to do it. So I had my first event. It went pretty well. So then people was looking at me. And my last event right before of the pandemic was in London.
So that first event that you did, kind of, did you do it in, did you do it for the event, say, let me do this for you because just give me a chance type of a thing?
Yes, it was more like a colleague and she was doing the launch of her website. So she was doing everything. I tell her, let me help you. I'm not gonna be charging any money, but I want you to give me like exposure. So, give exposure to my company so people can get to know more about the company and the services, and it's how I did it.
And girls, this is and who's going to be listening to this afterwards, this is a really, really good lesson, because sometimes people are so focused on the money, right? Sometimes people are so focused on, well, I'm not doing it if you're not going to pay me to do it. But to get that, it's the exposure, like she said, it's just getting your name out there. You might have to do a few things for free first, right? But you get out there, and that ultimately helps your name get out there. And then people say, well, who did this for you? Oh, what a lovely event, or whatever it is that you want to do. And then before you know it, like, then they'll say, oh, well, I would like to come to you for that, or I would like to, and then it kind of shows. So the key lesson here is to remember that a lot of people in this world are focused on the title or the money. They don't take that lower paying job because they feel like, well, I graduated from university. I deserve a better job. But sometimes you just need to be humble and get that foot in the door, because then you ultimately go higher. When people see that you're willing to do the hard work at a lower level so that you can move up, just like Alejandra did, just like I did, then you open doors for many more opportunities for yourself. Maria.
I feel like this is such a lovely lesson because it just demonstrates and shows us that to reach your dream, you have to go through a lot of things, even if you don't like them. And sometimes, as you said, you have to get your hands dirty and do things that you feel like won't actually benefit you in the future. But I feel like everything that we do and everything that is awaiting for us to start doing is going to be part of a lovely experience and is going to help us in the near future. So I really think that everything that Miss Alejandra has done, even if it's just unpaid jobs or just minor things she has done to get her name out there, benefited her just exclusively, enormously. And that is just a lovely lesson.
Yeah. I mean, and then I'm going to go to Roa, and then I'm going to go to Noor. But one other thing there to think about here is that the people that are probably going to tell you the most that you're crazy or you can't do it or that you shouldn't do it are the people that are closest to you. So therefore, at the end of the day, a key lesson that I've always done is, if there was nobody else around, if I didn't have to worry about anybody else and I could just make this choice, not worry about money, not worry about anything, would I still be doing this thing that I want to go and do? And if the answer is yes, then that means that your heart is in it and that's truly what you want to do. Because a lot of times people end up making decisions or choices that they don't want because of all of the yada yada that's going on from people that say you shouldn't do it. So that's another very important, because sometimes the people closest to you are going to be the ones that are going to try and make you back down. And it's because they want to protect you and they love you. It's not anything other than that. But you need to do with what's right for you. So Roa.
I'm really curious to know, why did you choose 17 as a name? Like, why 17?
Well, because I was born on a 17.
Oh,
Lovely.
Yes, October 17, and I was looking the meaning of the number 17, and it's all related to, it's like a spiritual number related to business. It has a very interesting meaning. That's why I decided to put that name to the company. Today, I don't know, sometimes I think I should put maybe another name, but I don't know. I started the company with the goal of creating content. No, I never thought it was going to grow.
So the first question, what was your family's reaction after you became successful? So as the part when you moved, they weren't supporting you. And my second question is, when you took the step to just get out of the 9-to-5 job, which was actually more safe in the money-wise, let's say, and then you chose to just move to a path where you don't know where it might end. Will it be successful or it won't? So how did you just take the shift to make that decision from a 9-to-5 job to just a business where you don't know whether you're going to get successful in it or not at the moment?
Wow, great questions. Thank you. So the first question, I remember even my brother came to New York to see where I was living and what I was doing, because they were very concerned about me. And I remember he came to visit me, and I remember him saying, everyone in New York is crazy, including you.
And you fit in.
Yes. And, because it's like, only crazy people move to New York or are supposed to come here. So I was crazy for them. And now I went last week and I saw him, and he was talking about myself to a friend of his, and he says, actually, I talk about my sister as an example of what you can reach in life, because she moved by herself to New York. She has done everything by herself, and we didn't believe in her, and now look where she is. So I'm the other thing is, like, I'm the youngest one, so that's why everyone is very protective, because when you are the youngest one in the family, everyone wants to be on top of you, taking care of you, making decisions for you, especially about your life, what you should be doing. That's why I decided to live here. Everyone is in Miami. So the second question is, how did I, because I never saw myself, since I remember, never saw myself living, having a full-time job, like 9 to 5, because I felt like I was like on a jail. Mm-hmm. Maybe when you have a mind that is creative and you like to create things, being in the same space, or doing things that make you feel, I don't know what is the right word, like make you feel that you have no freedom, mm-hmm. are not healthy. So I needed to feel that I had freedom of creativity, of working from any place. I didn't feel well having to go to an office. I hate offices. I'm sorry, I don't like to be in an office. Mm-hmm. I don't like to be, because the energy in the office is so strange, because people, you're dealing with people that go there not for work, maybe for be out of home or be away from the families. So I didn't feel well being in an office. That's why I say I need to create something that allows me to work from where I want to work.
You know what? And right there, it's clarity, right? You were clear, very clear on what you wanted, in that sense of how you wanted to work, where you wanted to work from, what you wanted to do. And you did that. So, wow. What is the name of your book? That's one of my questions. And, what is what's the future for 17? What do you have, some projects up your sleeve?
So the name of the book is Today's Inspired Latina. Is a book that compiles different stories from different women. All of them are Latinas. So this project was created by a lady in Chicago, and she's an amazing person as well. She's a pilot. So she created this project to allow people like me to tell the story, to inspire other women, and to make them feel that everything is possible. You can make things happen. And that's the only book I have at the moment. It takes discipline, a lot of discipline, to write a book. I love writing, and at the moment I'm more focused on growing the business, and it requires a lot of energy and being focused. And the future, well, it's very interesting question, because what I planned for the last year couldn't happen. Mm-hmm. So I am about I'm focusing the company more in the digital and the public relations side, because the events are not going to be happening in I don't know in how long. So I have plans of focusing on more in the public relations side and the social media side, and wait until things get better to start having corporate events and be able to connect with people and do events in other countries or other continents. Who knows? But I'm open. I'm still open.
Oh my goodness. How special today was. Anybody have any last final questions that you would like to ask before we finish up?
So you said that, I mean, I've seen like through your journey, you've took a lot of different paths. You just tried too many paths. Do you think that in the future you will open something outside of 17 companies, something that 17 entertainment company, like in another path, not related to the what 17 entertainment is about?
Definitely. Actually, I have been thinking I would like to have another business because I feel with the energy and I feel young and I would like to keep growing and maybe try something new. I'm just thinking what could be something different from what I do at the moment that could be beneficial for myself and to help other people, because what I have been trying now is trying to help as much as I can because we are facing a very difficult moment. And I think what we need to do now is trying to help support each other in a different way, in a different level, because we need to grow, we need to push up as a humanity, because the situation, we don't know what is going to be happening. But we need to keep working hard, we need to keep helping each other, we need to develop solidarity, compassion, and be more kind, be more receptive, trying to understand and respect others. So things like that are very important to me. But at the moment, I don't know, but I'm sure I'm gonna be letting you know to see if you're interested in working.
There you go. Look at that, guys. Actually, and I'm going to come to you in 1 second, Emily, honey. Noor and Roa are creating a device that helps blind people cross the street, that triggers the stoplight so that they can cross.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure they have other things going on as well.
That's amazing. Congratulations, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She got thrown off of Clubhouse because she was I love telling that story. She's like on there pitching this idea. God love her. And like she's like, yes, I'm 15-year-old and like boom, like
Suspended.
Wow. Wow, that's
I love
amazing.
that story.
Well, actually, Miss
It's such a good story to learn at a young age. So,
I haven't told you something. But because of Clubhouse, we got in connection with somebody with NASA who's now working with us on our project.
Be quiet.
My God. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. See?
Wow.
Putting yourself out there. And how many times did you get rejected before? How many times did you actually?
Too many times. I mean, I'm at 16. I guess I've sent more than 20 emails and nothing got replied.
Yeah. And then I remember her saying that to me, and I said, well, you just need that one yes, that one moment and so, I'm so excited to hear that. You'll have to tell me more about that after. Emily, honey, you have a question? Emily?
Yes.
Okay, honey, what question you have?
Do you speak any type of languages than English?
Okay, she speaks, well, her first language was Spanish because she's from Colombia. And so now she speaks English. What, do you speak any other languages besides Spanish and English, Alejandra?
I understand Italian and Portuguese very well, but I don't speak it. One of my plans is to start learning Italian.
Well, Alejandra, we want to thank you for coming today and being here with us. And it's just been so amazing and really inspirational for these girls that are here with us today and everyone that's going to listen. And so I thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this beautiful invite. I feel so proud of being with you. You are all amazing. Please keep dreaming. Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you, Chrissy, for creating this scenario. It's amazing. I'm very proud and I'm very inspired as well to be with all of you.